Welcome back to Aeons, and we're taking on the Crooked Mask, and we've got him down to 66 health. And yeah, so let's just get into it. We're going to do a full round, of course, per episode. That's what I do. So we'll shuffle up the turn order so I don't know what's happening. All right, shuffled enough, and beginning, we are going to start with, oh damn it, the Nemesis. That's not good, because this card is going to trigger, and I'm going to put this here so I don't forget we have to play another card. All right, Agony Field. Power 2, we unleash. Okay, what do we do to unleash? Any player gains a corruption and places it on top of their deck. I think we're going to have Zaxos get a corruption. So we place this on top of Zaxos's deck. The player shuffles the discard pile into their deck. So we're going to have to shuffle basically Zaxos's deck. So we're going to shuffle that up. So much for not shuffling in this game. We're not finished yet. That's just the unleash part of Agony Field. All right, unleash. And continuing on, what does it say here? Any player discards 3 cards and then draws 1. Oh man. Okay. So any player discards 3 cards and then, wow, and then gains 1. I think we're going to do it for Zaxos because he's going to discard 3 crystals and draws 1 card. And it is a crystal. Okay, that's not great, but it's not horrendous either. All right, that was dealing with the Agony Field. And now, of course, we have to deal with the Nemesis card itself, and it is the Corruptor. 6 health. It's a minion. When this minion suffers damage, the player who dealt the damage gains a corruption and places it on top of their deck. What? Persistence Grateful suffers 1 damage. Oh man, that is absolutely horrific. So we have a monster out here with 6 health. Not good. Not good at all. All right, we're gonna come back, I guess, and we're gonna find out who's going next, which is player 1. So that's going to be Lash. So let's see what Lash is going to do. All right, it's Lash's turn. Well, Lash has 2 spark spells. It says let's take a look at the Corruptor. When this minion suffers damage, the player who dealt the damage gains a corruption, places it. Wow. Okay. Well, what do we want to do here? Eh? Oh, this is bad. These corruption cards, I'm sure, are absolutely horrendous. Well, we have 2 sparks. We can either attack the Corruptor, which I think we're going to do that. We're going to fire off both sparks, and we're going to do 2 damage to the Corruptor. So let's take another quick look at this. When this minion suffers damage, the player who dealt the damage gains a corruption, places it on top of their deck. Oh, well, we did 2 damage. He's down to 4 health. But we do have to take one of the corruption cards, if I can grab it here, and it goes on top of the deck. Not good. All right, now Lash gets to play cards. And Lash has 2 crystals, the Quartz Shard, and Scorch. So we're going to go ahead and play Quartz Shard first, and it's gain an ether. Reveal the top card of the deck. You can either put it on the top or the bottom. So the top card of the turn order deck is player 1, and I think we're going to want to leave that right where it is. You may place this card on the top part. We're going to leave it. If you reveal the player card, gain an additional ether. So we do actually have 2, 3, 4 ether and the Scorch. Well, of course, we're going to prep the Scorch to open breach 1. We have 4 ether, and with the 4 ether, I think it's time to get a relic. We're going to purchase the Primordial Fetish. Focus any player's breach or destroy this to gain 3 life. I think we might need that later on. Okay, that was pretty good, and that's going to be having spent everything. So we're going to put the cards back in this order, and yes, we are going to draw 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we know one of them is a corruption, which we'll have to play at the beginning of our turn. I think That says when a corruption is destroyed, if a player would gain a corruption at the start of each player's turn before the player's casting phase. Okay, so we're going to have to do this. Ooh, okay. Actually, that's not as horrendous as I thought. We actually get a benefit from it as well. All right, well, that's our hand for Lash. That's Lash's turn. And up next, we're going to take a look at turn order, which we already know is going to be lashing. All right, turn order deck, which, of course, we looked at. And so player 1 gets to go 2 times in a row. All right. And yes, as I just read here, at the start of each player's turn before the player's casting phase, the player resolves all corruption in their hand in any order. So we're going to have to do that. Let's go back again to Lash. All right, back to Lash. And before we do anything, we have to deal with the Fever of War card. And it's basically suffer a damage. So we're going to go from 10 health down to 9. But then it says deal 2 damage and destroying this. Well, to destroy this, it goes to the bottom of the corruption deck. But we do get to deal 2 damage. And we're going to deal the 2 damage directly to the Crooked Mask. So we get to deal 2 damage, 66 down to 64. All right. Now we can play spells. Or now we can do casting of spells. I'll come right back and do that. It is casting of spells time. And yes, we're going to be casting Scorch, which is awesome. Deal 4 damage, which we will do here. If the damage causes a minion from the Nemesis deck to be discarded, which it will, any ally gains 2 charges. So we're going to cast that spell. We're going to do 4 damage. There's only 4 health left on the Corruptor. It's a minion. And we're going to send him back to where he came from. So he gets damaged and is out of the game. And that's going to give 2 charges now to Azaxos. So let's go ahead and give him 2 charges. All right, so Scorch paid off for us. We're going to put 2 charges here on Zaxos' card. He's halfway to being able to cast Praetorian Halo. Now let's go back to Lash and have Lash continue with his turn. All right, that worked out pretty well. And let's see what Lash has. Basically a Spark and 3 crystals. So we're going to put the Spark in Open Breach 2. We have 3. We could focus Open Breach 3. Or with 3, we could start getting some more crystals or some more gems. And I think we are going to spend 3 to purchase the volcanic glass, because it's going to give us 2 ether right away. We're not going to be triggering its purchase ability though, but it gives us a little bit more buying power later on. So we're going to do that with the 3 ether from Lash. Now Lash, of course, flips the deck over, and we'll be drawing 5 new cards for next turn, which of course will be in the next episode, because Lash has gone twice now. Has the Quartz Shard, Primordial Fetish, 2 Sparks, and a Crystal. Wow. Okay, well, that's not too bad. We're gonna be dealing with that in the next episode. So that was Lash. Lash has gone twice now, which means Nemesis has another turn. And player 2 has a couple turns. All right, let's go back to turn order and see what's coming up next. All right, turn order deck time. And, oh man, it's the Nemesis. Well, luckily, or good for us, the Nemesis has no cards to play. However, on the Nemesis turn, of course, we have to play a Nemesis card. And it is Tempt. It's an attack. The player with the most crystals in hand discards all their crystals, suffers 3 damage, and gains a card from any supply pile that costs 4 or less. Gains a card. So it's going to go to the discard pile. Damn it. All right, who's got most crystals in hand? We only have 1 crystal in hand for Lash, which I do believe then, yes, 2 crystals in hand for Zaxos. Oh man, so Zaxos is going to discard all their crystals. Well, going to discard all of his crystals, which is 2 of them. Suffer 3 damage, 10 health down to 7. Ouch. And gains a card from any supply pile that costs 4 or less. So that's a crystal. I think we're going to go for the Primordial Fetish as well, costing 4 or less, because you can destroy this to gain 3 life, which we may need to do. So that goes to the discard pile. There's Zassos. And that is the end of the attack card Tempt. So that goes away. That was the Nemesis taking its turn. And so we know now there's only 2 cards left in the deck here. Player 2 will be going twice in a row. Let's see if we can deal some pain. So over we go to Zassos to take a turn. All right, well, pretty easy for Zassos. It is casting a spell time, which is Spark. So yes, I'm going to cast Spark. I'm going to do 1 damage to the Crooked Mask. 64 down to 63. All right. And now it's time to play cards from hand. Well, Zassos has 1 card, the Thermal Dart. That's all they have. We're going to just prep that to open breach 1 and pick up 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all 5 of them. It's a crystal, another corruption card, 2 crystals, and Pyre. All right, so this is going to happen in the next turn. Suffer 1 damage. You may destroy a non-corruption card in hand and destroy. You may destroy. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Anyway, that's basically the end of player 2's turn. But we're going to stay right here because we know that the next turn order card is again player 2. And we also know from the Crooked Mask play that at the start, before we do anything else, the player's turn, before we get to the casting phase, we have to deal with the corruption cards in hand. Suffer 1 damage, 7 down to 6 health. That's not what I like to see. And it just says you may destroy a non-corruption card in hand. This one, of course, is not in hand because we're playing it, and you can't destroy a corruption card anyway. So I could destroy one of my crystals if I wanted to. Do I want to destroy a crystal? And destroying it means it's out of the game. I don't think I want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. And then you destroy this, which means this just goes to the bottom of the corruption deck. All right, so the corruption deck will cycle through eventually. Now we're on to casting spell phase. And the first thing we're going to do is cast Thermal Dart. And it says deal 3 damage. If this is not the first Thermal Dart, then you gain a charge. Well, it is the first Thermal Dart. So we're just going to deal 3 damage, which we'll take, because that's going to take the Crooked Mask from 63 health down to a straight 60. Well, that's good. Now it's time to play cards. And we have Pyre. And we're going to, of course, put Pyre here. And we have 3 crystals, 3 ether. And the only card we can buy for 3 is the Volcanic Glass, and I think we are going to do it. So Volcanic Glass, when you gain this card on your turn, you may spend 2 ether. If you do, well, we don't have 2 ether to spend. Otherwise, it's gain 2 ether. So we're going to put that here, and we're going to put our cards in any order top of the deck here as I knock things about. And then we flip the deck over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards for player 2's next hand. They get a crystal, a crystal, a crystal. Wow, 5 crystals, and that's it. Interesting hand. Not very effective, but good for purchasing things. All right, going to zoom out, and we're going to wrap up our episode for today. All right, well, we've seen the corruption cards in action. They are not fun to deal with. Wow, yeah, Crooked Mask. Well, we got him down to 60 health. We get him down to 0 health, of course, without either one of our Breach Mages getting knocked out or Gravehold going to 0 health. We'll win the game. But yeah, we got 9 health on Lash. We're down to 6 health for Zassos. And things always look intense. So this is Aeon's End. We're playing against Crooked Mask, and I have all the expansions thrown in. Getting ready, of course, for Aeon's End Legacy, which is going to be coming out later this year, which I'm looking forward to playing that one here on my channel as well. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. Really appreciate it. Join me next time for the continuation of our Breach Mages Lash and Zassos taking on the Crooked Mask. I don't know if we're going to win this one. It's going to be touch and go. I don't know. we'll see what happens. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.